This is going to be a short guided exercise if you're dealing with feelings of being ugly or unattractive. It can be a tough one. It's so embedded into our culture how much looks seem to matter. And so we want to create some space around this for you. So what I'd like you to do is just first see a picture of yourself in your own mind. And as best you can, just kind of let that be there and observe what happens in your body. Observe whatever tension comes up. And observe that inner narrative, the voice that's saying and judging in different ways. And it can be harsh, but you want to give some space for yourself to actually be present with that and take it in as best you can without fighting against it. And now what I'd like you to do is just relax that picture, which might feel good for you, and think of a scene like nature, something that when you look at it, you're not judging appearance in that way. You're not finding flaws. Right? And just notice the way you feel as you take in that scene of nature or a pet of yours. Right? And just pay some close attention now to the way you're perceiving. Meaning you're not looking for faults or flaws. You're not zeroing in on every tree or every detail and going, that's a little out of alignment. That's not the right shape. But I want you to notice that if you want to, you could. Right? If you're looking at nature, for example, try to imagine what a perfect tree is supposed to look like. And then notice that if you compare in that way, you can start finding all sorts of problems. It's not going to have the same emotional charge, of course. But just notice that it's a way of perceiving. Right? Now go back to picturing yourself in your mind. And you might not be able to do this 100%, it's fine. But just experiment with this picture of yourself like it's just part of nature, which in the end you are. Right? But see if you can look at it without the same tight characteristic of, okay, these are the flaws, these are all the things I don't like. This is what it should look like. See if you can relax that. It's a filter on perception, like on Instagram or something. It's like a way of looking at things. And just see if you can look at yourself with the same quality that relaxes a bit more and just takes in a picture. Like it just is what it is. And take some deep breaths. And you're just experimenting with this, right? You'll notice preferences coming up saying, yeah, but if it looked like this, life would be so much better. And you can let those feelings and thoughts kind of come and go. Try not to grab onto them. And just look at that picture of yourself as just an object or an entity or part of nature, without focusing on such detail. And see if you can relax physically into that a little bit. See if you can notice the tendency for all the stories that come up. Say, oh man, if only, right? And you can listen to those and say, yep, I know why you think that. But I'm just going to relax that a bit. See if it's okay to just look at what I look like without such harsh judgment. Now, if you can access that, great. In either case, now, we're going to experiment with one other thing. Put your attention now on that voice, that narration, the part of you that's is saying, yeah, but come on, right? Like, what's this really going to do? You're ugly, you're unattractive. Think of all the things that would be different, right? And I want you to look at that voice, or listen to it, put your attention on it as best you can. I'm going to ask it a question, right? Say, hey, why is it important to judge myself like this? And it's not a trick question, right? You're actually listening in to feel if some part of you says, yeah, it's important we judge ourselves because... See if anything comes up. Just be open and listen. You might find that underneath it, it has some reason that it believes is necessary or helpful on a deeper level that might not be so obvious. Right? Maybe you need to be hard on yourself because that's going to motivate you to work out more or change your diet or something it believes will change your appearance. We need to tell ourselves that we're ugly and unattractive because that way if someone says it, or when someone said it to us in the past, okay, if we just take that on, it won't hurt as much. We can already call ourselves ugly, so if someone else does it, we've got some armor, we've got some calluses built up around that. And so if you see there's a protective component to it, if something comes up for you there, you might be able to look at it and say, oh wow, okay, I see why you're doing that. Would it be okay to relax that a little bit? Would it be okay to find a different way to protect ourselves? A way to get that same result without such harsh judgment. You might find some opening there, some ways that you can kind of explore that and work with that. And so just take a deep breath. And hopefully that gives you a few avenues you can explore with this, right? I think when you get in there, there's a lot of meat and a lot of good things in there that can be worked and processed through. Right? Often if you just try to do affirmations and tell myself I'm beautiful, and you have all these layers of things going on, it's not necessarily going to register. It's going to just feel like stuff you don't believe. You can try that stuff. If it works for you, great. But if it's kind of a deeper thing for you, hope this might help you. If you have any questions about it, how to go further with it, different avenues that could go down, let me know as a comment. Hope it helps, and I'll see you on the next video.